to Mystic Movement Astrology, navigating the stars with our feet on the ground. I'm your host, Lena Love, and I am here to talk about the stars with you and really understand what this Capricorn lunar eclipse is going to be bringing to us in the next couple days. You know, eclipses are really a culmination of energy. So I want to begin by looking at this degree, 14 degrees of Capricorn, which this moon is going to be at when it eclipses the Earth and the Sun. So really, all full moons are oppositions. And so a lunar eclipse is when the moon is opposite the Sun and the Earth is in the middle. So right now the sun is hitting the earth, and during the eclipse the moon will be on the opposite side. So the earth will be casting a shadow on the moon. So it's really interesting because this Capricorn energy, which is all about structure, duty, responsibility, patriarchy, order, rules, regulations, bureaucracy, the way things have always been. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn rules time, Father Time. The Grim Reaper. We have certain restrictions in our life. We only have so much time here. So the moon is actually at detriment in Capricorn. It really is an aspect that can bring a lot of depression, like a sense of heaviness. Capricorn is an earth sign that's associated with rock, with that heavy statue that is a testament to times before us. So, looking at the Sabian symbol for 14 degrees Capricorn, we have an ancient bas relief carved in granite. Remains a witness to a long-forgotten culture. So we have this image of a fossil, a bas relief of a fish carved in granite, and it's this relic of the past. It's something that's from a time that's gone and past, but we have this remainder of it. So this is really the energy with Capricorn at this 14th degree. And now that we have Saturn, which just dipped back into its home sign of Capricorn at the 29th degree, which is about completion, we're going back. Saturn's been in Aquarius, and now we're going back to re-examine the past and to see, what else we could learn, what else we could have clarity on from the past structures in our life. So you really want to look to where this 14 degrees of Capricorn falls within your chart, because that's going to be the aspect of life that this is referring to. So for instance, if it's in your 4th house, it's something about the structure of your family, of your emotional world, of your subjective experience, maybe something more psychological in your life that is changing. It's transforming, and you're going back in order to see maybe what didn't work in the past. You can see clearly, like a relic, like a fossil from the past. You can see it now in a physical manifestation because you're not immersed in that reality anymore. So since this is in opposition to the sun in Cancer, which is the opposite energy of Capricorn, and Cancer is really the sign that is ruling the moon, and that's really the energy that we want to be embracing at this time. Full moons are about letting go, so we're really looking to kind of let go of this Capricorn in whatever area of life it's aspecting. If it's in your 10th house, it has to do with your work and your career and so on. And so if we look at 14 degrees of Cancer, the Sabian symbol is a very old man facing a vast, dark space to the northeast. So the northeast is the future. When we look northeast, we're looking ahead of time. So we're looking into the future. And this gives us this sense of being fearless, of nobility, of this strength in facing the unknown. And it's like that's what we're doing right now with this Cancer energy, because the Capricorn is highlighting what we've known for so long. You know, Saturn has been in Capricorn now for a couple years, and it's bringing back to our awareness, you know, what we need to let go of. And so this Cancer energy is reminding us, we just went through this whole 18-month phase of the North Node being the North Node being Cancer and the South Node being Capricorn. So really, we've got the Sun here, and they're in dialogue. It's like the Sun is looking at the unknown, and the Sun in Cancer is really aspecting our emotional world, is calling for vulnerability, is calling for receptivity and openness to the unknown, right? So, and then we have Mercury here, also in Cancer, in a loose conjunction with the Sun. And so Mercury is like your best friend that you call and you're like, you know what, I'm going through this. You know, can you help me? This is how I feel, this is what happened. And your friend is like, you know, you kind of have a pattern of this, doing this. Like, remember that time in the past when this happened and this happened? And you're like, oh yeah, wow, okay. So Mercury is there in Cancer to be your friend, to like support you with what you're feeling, with what you're going through, and to kind of help you clarify what happened in the past. You know, is it all in your head? What are the facts here? You know, Mercury is about the facts. So the facts are really on the side of the Sun right now. So don't let this Capricorn full moon bring you down. Like, don't let it get the best of you, because it's really there to bring up like these emotional issues from just structures that are no longer serving you in your life. You know, I've been talking about this a lot, and this energy it's ongoing, and eclipses are these kind of moments of intensity, moments of heightened clarity, where everything aligns, all of the planets align, and the light is shining, and we can see more clearly how it is we need to grow, how it is we need to evolve. So while this is happening, we have Mars and Chiron that are T-squaring this eclipse. So this opposition between the Sun and the Moon. And so Mars is in Aries and Chiron is in Aries. So Aries is the home sign for Mars. And Chiron is going to be in Aries for 7 years. Chiron is in Aries the longest out of any sign. It's in Libra the least, and they're opposite signs. So this is about our self-wound. Aries is self. Aries is individuation, is I, me, my, is that individuation, that impulse, that cardinal fire. So these are all cardinal energies, you know, Cancer, Aries, and Capricorn. These are all initiatory forces. So it can kind of feel like a battle in your mind between, oh, should I listen to, you know, how things always were, or should I look to what I'm really feeling, or should I listen to, you know, my ego, my will, and how I want it to be? And so we're really, you know, a square, the T-square between, we have our Sun and our Moon, and then we have Aries and Chiron, which is the wounded healer. That creates a conflict. So in astrology, everything is a relationship. So the 90-degree relationship represents a conflict. So that can be an issue at this time, and it can be something that is a challenge to our clarity, because we have an ego. Everybody has an ego. We want things to go a certain way. We want things to be a certain way. We want to influence reality by our perception, by our wants and our needs. And that can make it hard to be objective about just what is. And what we need to be objective about right now is our own personal feelings, which is the sun is the most powerful planet. It's in Cancer right now. Mercury is there, and Mercury is like, yeah, like your mind needs to drop down and feel what you need to feel right now, and you just need to like know the facts. This is a strength that is arising from knowledge. This is having the courage to face those spiritual problems, to look into the unknown, to look into the future. And yeah, we might see this relic of the past and gain understanding, but that doesn't mean that we should be recreating what we know. Just because, the unknown is frightening, if anything, the energy is going to support us more if we take that courage to step into the unknown. And so Chiron in Aries challenging this is maybe wanting to make excuses, maybe wanting to blame the external world for what's not right in our internal reality right now, because we're really feeling this on an inner level. And that's dangerous, because we have to take ownership at this time. We have to really just learn how to sit with the uncomfortable emotions, the uncomfortable realities, and from there we can start to begin and create a better future. Because if we're just going off of what has been or what was, because we don't think that we could actually have what we truly want, then what are we doing here on life? In life, what are we doing here except to just live in the structures that were built for us in the past? If we're not progressing, if we're not moving forward to make our feeling, our emotional world a priority, then, is life really worth living? That's what this Cancer energy is about, I feel. And I have Cancer in the 10th house, so that's its opposite sign. The 10th house is career, it's ambition, it's goals, it's your life in the world, your work in the world. So that's the opposite of my, personal, vulnerable, hidden home, family, personal feelings. Like, my personal feelings are out there. That's just my chart always pushes me to step onto the stage and be vulnerable. Like, I don't really have a choice. And that's kind of where you have to look. If you really want to use the energy of this eclipse, you have to look to that house where 14 degrees of Cancer is, and look to these opposing houses to really understand where this is influencing you the most in your life. With Chiron here squaring this opposition between Cancer and Capricorn, and what's known and what's unknown, that's the wound of the self. And so if we can really go within and see, all right, what adjustments can I make in my personal structures of self, of identity, of personality, of the way that I conceive of myself, the way that I judge myself, the way that I exert myself or assert myself, like being able to be more introspective about this is going to bring us the more fruitful outcomes. So it's not a time to find fault with others or try to find excuses for why we're going to stay the same. This is really, really, really a time where we're being pressured to go within and to look at ourselves on this basic level of Aries, and what are our primal wounds, what are those things from the past that have shaped us for better or for worse. And it's like we're going back into that old computer system. We were in a new computer. We were in Saturn in Aquarius, like a new time. Saturn rules time. We were in this like new time of like innovation, of the collective, of technology. And then Saturn's like, wait a minute, like I forgot something. I gotta go back on that old desktop and download these files, and I think I missed something. I need to read something there. And where this is coming to relationship with Chiron and Aries, it's like, okay, what is this information that we're now going to be able to see clearly on this eclipse about our past structures and those foundations of our life that weren't working? Like we always say, hindsight is 20/20, so we have to look to history in order to confidently step into the future. And so the more that we can clearly see that, swallow our pride a little bit with this Chiron in Aries and Mars there, and instead of, getting angry about it, just really accepting this and really allowing Mercury in Cancer to allow us to, come back to the feeling, come back to just that emotional presence of, yeah, you know what, it doesn't feel good to remember the way that I was in the past, or this thing that happened to the past, but what can I see about myself? What can I learn about myself from that experience? And how can I take that into the next chapter of life? Saturn's going to be going back into Capricorn until December, so we have this time of this retrograde to really, go back and weed the garden, clean everything out before we're going to be planting all these new seeds for the future. And really this eclipse is just one powerful opportunity to download a clear insight about the past. I think that we've been in this Neptunian confusion, this Neptune retrograde, and then when we had Mars and Pisces for so long, we were having such confusion. And now that we have this Mars in Aries and we have this eclipse coming up, it's really an opportunity for us to get some clarity. So this eclipse is going to allow us to see clearly about where we're going in our lives based off our emotional world and our stability, our structures, our groundedness. And we're going to be creating that new groundedness from the inside out. Okay, that's the challenge now, is that everything in our lives for so long, has been outside in, outside in, outside in, taking in the outside, understanding the world around us, learning how to survive and thrive in the context that were pre-established. And now we really are in revolutionary times where we are at a place and time in history where we can start to shape our future based off of our desires, our wishes, our needs. And in order to do that with authenticity, we have to tap in to our innermost personal truth. We can't just like slough off like, oh, these are just emotions, these are just my feelings, and they don't really matter. Like, that's the highest, most important thing. I mean, if you think about all of the tragic and beautiful things that happen in the world, all of the intense and extreme realities that we live in have to do with emotional reality. I mean, you can't go to war without it being first someone's emotional reality that they want to motivate war. We can't go into peace or activism if it isn't in our emotional reality to fight for a cause. So really, this is a time for you and me and everyone to just really enjoy this opportunity to see into us. I mean, the moon is going to be shadowed by the earth, and we just have the sun in Cancer and Mercury right there is giving us the answers about what direction we need to go in the future for our emotional truth to be fulfilled. And it might feel like, yeah, we're that old man that's coming from a different past and that's now at the brink of a new world, looking into the future, looking into this black void, and just there with a hope and a prayer and a wish. And that's okay, because that's where everything starts. You know, you might dream of living in this beautiful house someday, but you might not know how you're going to pay for that. Well, what comes first, the dream or the means? To me, it's the dream, because if you don't have the purpose to fuel the actions that it takes to create that foundation, then you're not ever going to really create it. You're only going to stay where you are and maintain what is. Because we need to engage our emotions in order to fuel that fire to step into the new world. So lastly, I want to share a mantra with you for this week, and specifically this eclipse energy, which is going to continue on. You know, this is an eclipse season, so they are all linked together, these energetic realities. So the mantra goes like this: we are here to create a brand new space based on love and truth and peace. A formless void can take its shape only when old structures have been released. Feel into that. Feel into that emotional truth that is coming to you at this time, and just allow the past to let itself go. If you're not there to grab onto it, it can't stay. It's a process of shedding. So just let it be. You'll be happier, you'll be better for it. And if what you're clinging to is really meant to come around, it's going to come around to you in its own time. It's not going to be from your will, right? The Aries, Chiron and Aries. It's not going to be because you made it happen, Mars there with the wound. It's not. It's going to be because it was a part of your next phase of growth. So right now, just really practice your emotional presence and just staying true to yourself in every moment. Namaste as the rain comes to wash away any of the past grief. Thank you so much. Take care. Aloha.